Okay, so I want to talk to you about word forms and word families. And so that's what we've got up here today. So the first thing that we want to look at, we've got to understand that the English language is made up of a whole bunch of different languages. English speaking folks typically tended not to fare so well in wars. So we had to learn a little bit of Latin. We had to learn a little bit of Greek. We had to learn a little bit of a whole lot of languages. If you really wanted to study the history of the English language, it is just a mess. So some of the more common roots are Greek and Latin. And so let's get into those. The first thing that I want us to understand here is the literal level of understanding is probably the most important part of reading comprehension or understanding what you're reading. And all that means is we are understanding literally the words that are on the page and we're building vocabulary. So if you gave me a manuscript or something that was written in Spanish or French or Japanese, I would not understand the words that are on that page. I have to understand them in English. It doesn't mean that I don't understand the concepts. I just don't understand the concept that that word portrays. Okay, so that is the literal level of understanding. So just to look at this, we've got some root words, and these come from different areas, but the first is mort. Brev is the second, bene, mal, crypt, and pat or pass. So those are just root words. So take a minute and kind of think about those. Have you seen those? And I'm not talking prefixes and suffixes here. I'm just talking about roots. So they could be at the beginning, they could be in the middle, they could be at the end. These are just the root words that the rest of the words are built around. All right. So you guys ever heard of a dictionary? There's this book that they used to have when I was a kid, and it had all the different words in it. And it told like what the origin was, whether it's a Greek or a Latin or French or whatever, wherever the language came from, it had it in there and it had a definition of it. And a lot of times the root words were in there. I think now we use this thing called a computer or the internet or Google, and you guys can Google this. Just Google, what does the root word mort mean? And I'm pretty sure it'll bring up some good examples. But if we go through there, we have the root words. We have the meanings. So mort means death. Brev means short. Bene means well or good. Mal means bad or evil. Crypt means hidden. Pack or pass means peace. Okay? So let's think about some of those. Do you know any words that have mort in them that have something to do with death? Or something that has brev in it that has something to do with being short? Or bene that is well or good? Mal that is bad or evil? Crypt that's hidden? Pack that means peace? All right, I've done a little bit of work for you with a dictionary. And we have some examples. So mort means death. So words like mortuary, mortician, mortal, immortal. You may have heard those words before, and every one of them has to do with death in some way. Mortal means you can die. Immortal means you can't die. So we can get into the whole prefix of im, which means not mortal. Pretty good. Brev is short. So we have brevity. We have abbreviation. An abbreviation is a shortening of a word. So you think that word would be a lot shorter, but it's not. So we have abbreviation. The root word is brev. Bene and mal are two that I can never really remember, because I read about a malevolent leader or a benevolent leader, and I can never remember which one is the one I actually want to follow. But when I think about other words that have that, I know a benefactor is someone who supports you, a lot of times financially. A benefit, certainly a good thing. We want things that benefit us. So bene means well or good. And when I remember that, I remember that the benevolent leader is the one that I want to work for. Mal means bad or evil. So a malfunction is a bad function. If your car or your computer malfunctions, that is not good. So the malevolent leader, I definitely do not want to work for that guy. Malice, malice is just another word for evil. So you can walk around with malice in your heart. That just means you got bad intentions. Crypt. All right. Now, this one means hidden. You know, a lot of times you think of a crypt as somewhere where we bury dead people. Okay. So this is a little bit different from that meaning of it, but crypt means hidden. So if you encrypt a message, you hide that message. A cryptograph is something where you hide the message and people interpret it or decipher it. And then my favorite is cryptozoology. So that's the study of hidden creatures like Bigfoot. Love me a good Bigfoot show. Loch Ness Monster, all those things, all over it. So cryptozoology is studying hidden animals, hidden zoological specimens. All right, pack or pass, that means peace. You have pacifist. You have the Pacific, like the Pacific Ocean, a peaceful ocean. A pacifist is someone who loves peace. A pact is an agreement between two entities to get along, to work together, to have peace. All right, so that's just some examples of some word families. You've got some exercises. Again, use a dictionary, use a thesaurus. The main thing we're trying to do is expand our vocabulary and understand that just because you may not quite have a literal level of the word that's on the page, there are going to be hints that help you determine and comprehend the meaning of what you're reading. Hope that helped. I'm going to go out and look for cryptids. Figure out what that one means.